Tonight in Columbia, South Carolina, and the South Carolina Gamecocks home opener, it was a tale of two halves. The Gamecocks came out in the first half playing the role of Jekyll and Hyde and looked like a team without a clue. Could not slow Kentucky down and were down by 17 points at the half by the score of 24-7. But in the second half, a new team appeared. South Carolina came out, played defense, stopping Kentucky to less than 100 yards in the second half. And the offense caught fire under a new quarterback. Connor Midge separated his shoulder, more than likely is out for the season, but Perry Orth took over at quarterback. Nunez actually took a couple of snaps too, though, but a rejuvenated offense started clicking on offense, but when they got to the red zone, there were problems. The Gamecocks could only get field goals, but South Carolina did not have to punt at all in the second half, but moved the ball at will up and down the field until their last drive, in which Perry Orr threw his first interception, the really first turnover for the Gamecocks on offense this year, other than when Pharaoh Cooper fumbled on a two-point conversion that was run back for a two-point conversion the other way. That was huge because the Gamecocks on their last drive needed a touchdown trailing by 4, whereas if that had not been returned, all they would have needed was a field goal to win the game, though. But missed opportunities could be the name of the game for the Gamecocks, again, as they traveled into the red zone and settled for 4 out of 5 field goals tonight from Elliott Fry. He missed on a field goal earlier in the game, but South Carolina right now still with a lot of questions. Heads down next week to take on nationally ranked Georgia, 2-0, who had a big win today over Vanderbilt, though. But it will be interesting to see what team shows up. But we know one thing for sure, there'll be a new quarterback under center. Perry Orth will be your quarterback. Post-game, Brandon Wiles was very outspoken about not carrying the ball enough. Tonight, Brandon Wiles carried the ball 16 times for 106 yards, and again, has been a force carrying the football this year. Other players, Lorenzo Nunez carried it 2 times for 40 yards. Sean Carson had 5 carries for 36 yards, and David Williams 5 carries for 18 yards. Perry Orth, really in his first significant play in time of the season, stepping in and having to go the second half, was very sharp throwing the ball, was 13 out of 20, but tried to throw a pass to Deebo Samuel, who was open 10 yards, but Orth was running to his left, tried to throw back against his body and could not get anything on it. The play was intercepted. Deebo did a great job of coming back and causing the defender to cough up the ball, but the official, after a long review, said that he was down before he fumbled. The Gamecocks would have recovered the ball had the call gone their way, but Kentucky was able to get the ball back and run the clock out and go home with a huge victory. Kentucky's first victory in their season's opener in the SEC in many, many years. South Carolina now had owned Kentucky over the previous years, but now have lost back-to-back games to Kentucky for the first time in a long time. First time the Kentucky Wildcats have come in and won in Williams-Brice Stadium in a very long time, though. But South Carolina right now has got to find themselves. If they face an adversity early in the year, losing to Kentucky once again, that was one that they had revenge on their mind after blowing a 14-point lead last year in Kentucky. But now starts out 0-1 in conference play, and it has to go to Georgia, one of the toughest places that they have to play in the Eastern Division, though. So South Carolina, again, did some good things on offense, and talking with Pharaoh Cooper, asked if the possibility of maybe they grew up, and Brandon Wiles, if they grew up a little bit on offense as far as being able to develop some consistency in the second half, and he felt like they did too. Hopefully the defense has been able to learn some things. This is the second straight week that the defense has not allowed any points to be given up in the second half. The only 2 points in the second half came on a 2-point conversion return. But the South Carolina defense started out quick tonight as they got a quick interception that led to a quick touchdown for the Gamecocks. But the first half has been a slow start that John Cooper said that the team just is missing too many tackles and missing assignments. But if this team has showed and proved in the second half tonight, if they can get off to a good start, then they can be a decent defense. Again, the first half, the Gamecocks were being compared to the Atlanta Braves. Who was the worse team, the Gamecocks or the Atlanta Braves? But South Carolina showed up, played football second half.
What will happen next week between the hedges? We do not know. We'll have to wait and see what takes place in Athens. Reporting for Cox Sports Broadcasting, I am the coach, Dick Cox.